Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have Alpha Drive AI and Andrew Lee with us. And Ted, exciting conversations about what Alpha Drive is doing for the automotive industry.
Sarah, it's an exciting time. You're so right in our industry. We are really humbled to have Andrew Lee, the sales VP at Alpha Drive AI. Andrew, welcome back to the Fix Ops Roundtable.
Awesome, man. Hey, guys, I'm super excited to be here today. And before I go through anything, want to celebrate you all. You guys are doing an amazing job with this podcast and the way you guys have shown up on social and the authority piece, but doing it from an educational standpoint. So I'm excited to be a part of a group like this. And it's been great. Every interaction, your team is super professional. So love connecting with you all. You guys are one of the best.
Oh, Andrew, that means a lot. Thank you so much. Great to see you in Las Vegas
Yeah.
just a few months ago, and love all the interviews that you did with us and with our team. And we're following you on social media as well. Congratulations on all the video content, the interviews you're doing, and you're all over the place too. So we love that. So.
Oh, awesome, man. Well, you set the bar pretty high, so I'm just trying to follow behind you guys' lead.
Well, Sarah and I have some questions this morning, starting with the fact that Alpha Drive AI did not start out as a tech company. I want you to tell our audience about that because you've spent 30 years operating a live business development center in dealership, actually in store. And how did that shape you, Andrew? And how did that shape all this for AI? And why do you see it as a tool to execute the work rather than just another piece of tech?
Yeah, no, I mean that's an excellent question, and the company actually started off as a company DGA Auto. It's been around since 1993, and really funny story. And Nick, who's not here today, our CEO, was born and raised pretty much in the company. Why? Because it was started actually by his mother as a CSI follow up company. So back in 1993, she was working in an automotive dealership. Saw there was an opportunity to figure out if customers were happy because she was trying to sell aftermarket parts and things of that nature. So she had to follow up, and the dealers were actually having her call and reach out. She's found out, hey, I don't just need to sell anything, but there's problems we need to solve, and we can bring these customers back in. So when that took off, she said, "Hey man, I can do this for other dealers," and it blew up and it expanded. So we like to say we're kind of one of the first virtual BDCs out there. Prior to using AI as a tool, now we've been helping over 1,000 plus dealerships since 1993. I came aboard maybe 5 to 6 years ago under their tutelage. So all of my background before we go into anything AI focused is really about the customer experience and the dealership experience and figuring out how to run a real good BDC to bring those customers back in and grow the business.
Sarah, they really understand this space. That's super important for what we do.
Yeah.
It is, and Andrew, business development centers. That's a challenge that a lot of dealerships struggle with because the elements that we see, dealerships they may lose most opportunities today when it comes to the inbound phone calls that are coming into their stores and outbound follow-ups. But where specifically do you see dealerships losing the most of those opportunities?
Yeah, so great question. And so as we ran the live call center again since 1993, a few years back, we realized there is one challenge with the traditional BDC. It's somewhat broken. Why? Because let's be very transparent. It's expensive to have staff just there to answer phones, right? Also, with call out sick turnover, it's very hard to manage that. There's a lot of experience gaps in the associates. And then no matter how hard you try to staff it, you can't provide 24-hour coverage. And so we were looking for a solution that said, hey, how can we help dealers out with this and really take it to the next level? And so the reason why we were in business with the dealers to start was at core, they did realize there's one big opportunity. I'm missing a lot of business through phone calls. When you're missing those phone calls, every phone call you miss is a potential new customer RO and things of that nature. So when we found that dealers were missing about an average 15 to 30% of the calls,
Wow.
and that's why they were bringing us on with the live call center. Well, unfortunately, not the live call center couldn't get to 100% of those either. And so when that gap happened, even though we were providing support, we needed to be able to take it to the next level because every phone call matters. And so for us, that's where AI has come in, because the biggest gap still to this day, if you don't have a BDC, if your advisors answer phone calls, you're missing those opportunities. The second gap is dealers aren't bringing business back in on the outbound side. They don't have true managed solutions. And again, this stuff is really hard. It's really hard to do. It's really difficult to manage. And so as we converted into Alpha Drive AI, utilizing the best AI tools, we were able to combine the best of both worlds to help dealerships grow.
I love that. You know, in addition to the dealership background, Sarah and I also view you at Alpha Drive AI as our AI resident expert for fixed ops. So I got to ask you this question with that in mind. What
Yeah.
are you seeing in the current AI landscape, and where are solutions that are out there falling short for dealerships today from what you see?
Yeah, great question. In the AI landscape, so again, I'll go back to experience. Number one, so if you're going into an AI solution and you're working with a company that doesn't have experience in your space, what you're going to get is an out of the box solution that may not fit what you need. And then number two, and this is where I think is really key. So when you add on AI, you're not really looking to bring in AI to give you another job. You should find AI to complete the job, you know? And so when we look at AI solutions, and especially with Alpha Drive, our number one goal is to free up your team, right? So as our AI solution is answering inbound phone calls for you or doing outbound calls, we try to minimize the amount of work that your team has to do with that process, so you can actually focus on the customers that are coming in, and you can focus on the new business, because that's how you grow the tickets. You grow it through trust. You grow it through actually FaceTime with the customers. And so, many AI solutions, they make you have to learn a new dashboard, or work to their rules, or figure out how to learn a whole new ball game. Well, with us, we make it very seamless. We integrate. It's like you just hired a new employee who's the best BDC agent out there. And so that's the key. Like, it has to feel not like you added on something that created work for you. You added on something that frees you up to do more with your customers.
I love that.
And Andrew, I'm glad you touched on those pieces with, delivering more to your customers and having those better experiences. One of the challenges that dealerships often face when it comes to, their BDC team or managing the communications that are going to their customers, there's oftentimes inconsistencies where there's that balance where people want to, have more of an automated and more of a streamlined experience, but they don't want to sacrifice the human elements either. They want to have those high touch, hospitality driven interactions. So how should dealerships think about balancing AI with their existing team to improve performance without losing the human touch?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. And for us, that took maybe about 4 to 5 years. We've been on this AI journey where we wanted to answer that exact question, right? We never wanted the dealership. Listen, we know with AI solutions, and everybody hears about this. Oh, it's going to cut jobs. It's going to cost, cut down a lot of costs, and people feel worried. Well, in our opinion, we actually truly believe that the AI should improve the customer experience. And quite frankly, you don't even necessarily have to reduce your staffing, because now there's more opportunities for them to do better service, more quality time. Actually, again, especially when you're in that service lane, when those customers are coming into the lane, and if you're trying to answer phone calls and trying to, pretty much juggle multiple things, you're not building that trust. You're not building that relationship. So for us, we are keen on, when you interact with our AI, we don't want you to get off that phone and say, I need a human. I need somebody in the drive. We designed the AI to literally replicate the best BDC agent out there. The knowledge is going to be super efficient. It's going to be faster. We cut down the call time in half. So anytime someone calls in, they want to schedule an appointment, it doesn't take 10 minutes to look up their account. In under 2 minutes, they can get an appointment. They can get a basic diagnosis. as if you were talking to an experienced advisor. These are all key elements that make that experience for the customer feel very complete. And again, leave the service drive alone. And then also, this is another key element to AI, is that integrations are key, so that you want to push information into the system the
Mhm.
way you would normally do it without having to use AI. So when they see those repair orders, they see the notes the same way, they see the information, so it doesn't cause extra work. So we put a lot of time into that, a lot of time into figuring out, like, how do we make this feel like you hired someone, but they work 24/7, half a fraction of the cost, and can do the work of an entire team. And that's our goal.
Sarah, I think back to when you were running the service BDC for that three dealer group in North Carolina. Just imagine if you had Alpha Drive AI, how much more effective, okay, your entire team would be.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Ted, and Andrew, just to give you the perspective, I mean, it was a three rooftop group. In the peak of those days, it was 40,000 phone calls in and out
Ooh.
for that team. So you're talking high touch communication, status updates, appointment calls,
Mhm.
pricing inquiries, all of these things. And Andrew, you're so right. It's really challenging when you are managing that kind of volume at scale. And you're right. There's so many opportunities that if it's outside business hours, those customers still need assistance, or they need to understand what their options are. If their car breaks down, they're worried about how they're going to get to work the next day. They're worried about getting the vehicle towed in. They're worried about all these other elements. And there's pieces that having this kind of service that Alpha Drive AI provides dealerships, it solves for so many of those round the clock pieces when it's convenient for the customer.
Yeah, 100%. And BDC managers actually love us. And the reason why is, if you're running a team with that many calls over that many dealerships, I'm sure the training, the turnover, the staffing was a bit of a nightmare at times too.
Yeah, yeah.
And so having a solution that you don't have to retrain every time, once a quarter as you get on new people, worry about it calling out sick, or worrying about the way you want the call handled, not following the script properly. These are all things that, again, we've looked for our entire career managing the live BDC team. And we said, hey, man, we want to make that easy. We want to make it so that that's not the issue anymore. And then imagine your best people now being freed up to actually do the more meaningful work and touch those VIP customers, for example, or the ones you want to reach out to, and really try to drive in more business. So we take a lot of that, routine work off your plate. And that's kind of our key.
We're speaking today to Andrew Lee. He's the sales VP at a company called Alpha Drive AI. And one of the great things about Alpha Drive is that they're squarely in the dealership BDC business, over 30 years, and having done that in operating BDCs. Uh, Andrew, I want to follow up with another question. For the dealers watching today, when AI is implemented correctly, okay,
Mm,
correctly, what
mm.
kind of operational improvements should a dealer expect to see?
Yeah, I mean, great question. And again, I'll speak from the BDC side of things. So number one, 100% phone calls answered, right? And as small as that sounds, the first touch point of the customer typically to your dealership is that phone call. And so you want to start CSI right away. You want to make sure that they can always reach someone. So you should be able to, your customers, if you add in an AI solution, should feel like, wow, you just elevated up, right? So that's number one. The second thing that you should see, so imagine now you don't miss a phone call, you should see a growth in RO counts and dollars per RO. Those two areas. That's what we measure. We range anywhere from 8 to 20% depending on the dealer and how much focus. But you should see a huge lift because, again, current state, you're missing more than you know. And so those customers who would have went down the street are no longer going down the street, because at the end of the day,
Sure.
you're now capturing everything. And then last but not least, there should be some savings. There will be. And as you reduce activities, you're definitely able to maximize the amount of efficiencies. So adding on AI, and again, and when I say savings, in our case, we're about 42% less expensive than a traditional BDC team. So we're able to bring down the cost savings, but we're providing the work of a full fledged team. So those are kind of your big levers that you want to see improvement on.
Everybody, Andrew Lee with Alpha Drive AI, helping many dealers all across North America with fixed operations with great success. Here at the Roundtable, some of our customers already have begun taking advantage of what Alpha Drive AI does. I think to our good friend Damon Egan at Sherwood Ford, the
Yeah,
largest Ford dealer in Western Canada, maybe all of Canada. All right.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it is a giant dealership. It was so great to see Damon with Andrew, Sarah, on our panel at NADA and have Damon saying how this is what really got his attention. And when he gets behind something, that's no small thing. That means it's really, really good because Damon's one of the best in the industry.
he absolutely is, and he actually is again one of our biggest supporters. Back in over a year, almost a year and a half now, we've been working with him, and he
Yeah,
has some amazing numbers.
does.
He's seen as high as 20% RO growth, but the other piece is his BDC team, their dollars per RO has gone up because now when the calls do come to them, that fraction of the team, they have a lot of time to work with them. So he's seen improvement in both areas, and anytime he has a chance, he's sending us people talking about it because it's really helped their business. So, love having Damon a part of the Alpha Drive family. He's amazing.
And Damon's been a part of our family for no less than 6 years, maybe 7 years, Sarah. And already great testimonials at the Fixed Ops Roundtable for Alpha Drive AI. Andrew, if our audience wants to reach out, has questions about how this will work for them, um, how do they take that next step? How do they find out more about Alpha Drive?
Yeah, absolutely. One step you can go, our website is amazing. So you can go to alphadriveai.com. It'll show you, kind of walk you through what we do, how we've been able to help multiple dealerships. You could directly reach out to me at andrew.lee@alphadriveai.com. You can always give me a call also. My cell phone, you can call me at 239-237-7730. You can call or text. Just like our AI, man, we have multiple touch points. We're available. We're ready to reply. And we're just looking forward to getting in front of more dealers. We're already in about 350 plus. So which is super amazing. We're working with the biggest groups out there, Lithia, some other ones that you all are pretty much familiar with. So big name, but a big game for us because we know, hey man, if you're trusting us with your BDC, we're going to take care of your customers just like they're ours because you're our customer, and those customers, we want them to come back and be super loyal to you. So we want to give them an amazing experience.
Andrew Lee at Alpha Drive AI. Andrew, where's Nick today? Nick was with you last time.
Great question. One of the things with our AI solution, we're kind of crossing over to different lanes. So we've been reached out to. We're actually working with a couple hotels, the JW Marriott, one hotel. And these are hotels down in Miami area, if you're familiar with the South Florida arena. And so, it's been big because automotive is very aggressive and first movers to a lot of this stuff. And so, like, even the hotel side of things, they're seeing what we're doing, reaching out to us and saying, hey, look, we want to learn. We want to see how we can service our customers better. So I'm excited. So he's down there with a couple of the hotels. Now, he says it's work related. I, you know, so I'm trying to figure that out. For some reason, haven't been able to reach him in a couple days. So hopefully he gets back in touch soon.
Well, Andrew, those companies give customers the best experience. Some of the names you mentioned are at the very top. All right. So if you're at a dealership looking to provide that level of experience with dealership knowledge and know-how, Andrew Lee is your man to reach out to. Alpha Drive AI. You see his cell phone at the bottom. It says call or text. I'm assuming we can do that, and his email there as well, Andrew. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And totally appreciate you guys having me on. You guys are the best of the best. So we definitely want to continue to be associated with the best. You guys are educating, teaching, and really, letting dealers know what to look for when it comes down to these type of solutions. So we truly appreciate the opportunity to work with you all.
Everybody, Alpha Drive AI. Visit them on the web, alphadriveai.com. Andrew Lee, his email and cell scrolling in the screen. Andrew Lee from Alpha Drive AI here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.